What's up, Space Cadets?
This is the
Next Gen Revolution Podcast.
And welcome to the motherfucking future.
That was perfect said.
Welcome to the Next Gen Revolution Podcast. We have Matt and Nick today from Spretzels. You guys let the fans know a little bit about who you are, and we'll go from there.
Sure thing. My name is Nick. I am the founder or co-founder of Spretzels. Spretzels is the best pretzel you've ever or you haven't yet tasted. Yeah, that's about it. I mean, I'm 24. I graduated in 2020, so right amid the COVID crisis, and decided, what's better than starting a pretzel business.
I'm Matt, and I met Nick right at the top of 2020. So we're talking right before the world, shut down, through a friend. And fast forward, we lived together, and we're scaling this pretzel business. So yeah, that's the short end.
It's like the stories you always hear. So people start in their garage, build something, and it grows into something amazing. But like, how did the idea start? When did you guys were like, hey, this is a good idea, let's make it into a business?
Yeah, so it started about 2 years ago. I had a job, and they were selling really amazing pretzels. And I noticed that everyone around me loved the pretzels, the employees, customers. And I remember at the end of every shift, I would go up to the cooks and get this giant Ziploc bag that was left over of these pretzels.
Okay.
And so it sort of noticing that there's a potential product here. I remember joking to my manager at the time, like, someone has to bag these and smack a logo on it. And they'd sell like hotcakes. And she's like, you should do it. And I'm like, maybe I will. And then upon graduation, I was thinking about what to do, and I've always wanted to start a business and get into business and learn about business. And I always had this notion that the best way to learn about business is to, dive headfirst into the trenches and just learn while on the job and doing it. And I was considering different startups to get started, and the pretzel company I was slowly developing it at the time. It was more out of curiosity, and I thought, hey, this might be a good idea. And I thought to myself, if I can't start a pretzel business, I can't start anything.
Okay.
And so we decided to do Spretzels. And you have Matt to thank for the name.
It's funny, when the first time we met, we were hanging out, and Nick had this big bag of, at the time we're just, salt, spicy ranch pretzels, or now Spretzels. We were hanging out, we caught the sunset, beautiful Malibu sunset, and I was like, hey, by the way, can I have some of those pretzels that were in the car? He had made them for somebody. He said, yeah, you can have some for sure. We take out this big bag, like a gallon bag, and I have one, I have two, I have 20, and they were truly amazing. I hadn't had anything like that before. And in a later hang, we were joking about different flavored pretzels we could make, just all kinds of ideas. And I was really into chocolate covered espresso beans at the time. That was like my go-to snack. Okay. Yeah. And I was like, about espresso flavored pretzels, we'll call them Spretzels. And then that kind of morphed into like a Spretzel. And then it was Spretzels. And at first we were both like, this is not a good idea. This is a terrible name. And then one day, the pandemic's going on. Nick and I move in together, and he's like, "I'm going with Spretzels. Like, I'm all in." And so here we are. Got the visor to prove it.
I love it. And so for anybody who wants to start their own thing, how did you guys get started? Was it like, let's get the domain, let's get the name of it, do all the like licensing, the business stuff, and then just go for it? Like, how did you guys start and get to where you are now?
Yeah, Google's a good start, I'd say. But I think more important than the domain name, the license, these are all things you like. you do enough thinking, you'll need to get there. More importantly is a business strategy. And so right from the get-go, I always knew that these pretzels had potential, but my opinion wasn't enough. And I knew that the people around me loved them, but their opinion wasn't enough either, because they could all be lying to me. So originally the idea was, let's put these pretzels into a bag, brand it, get a nice brand. Well, now there's a really good brand story behind it, but the idea was to do proof of concept. Let's see if these things have potential. Let's see if we get them out into strangers' hands and they try it. Will they buy bags? Will they like the brand? And so we did that, and it's so far flying colors.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like Nick said, there's a lot of like the essential things you have to do. Set up an LLC, set up bank accounts, all of that stuff. If you haven't done it before, my background is in accounting and business management, so I was doing this for people before at a firm, so I had a lot of that thought process. Right, all right, we need to do this, we need to do this, we need to get educated on this, we need to become experts on this. So a lot of the education has been on the fly and as we go. There's a great book by Guy Kawasaki called Art of the Start, and it's basically like the how-to book on launching a business. And I read that in college, and it gave me a lot of the sort of intuition needed. But yeah, it's been every day is a learning curve, and new lessons learned. There's no shortage of work and fun stuff ahead. So this got started, I think, end of last summer, around August was when incorporated, did all that fun stuff, and we really started selling them at the beginning of the new year, January. So
you just started selling this year?
Just started this year.
Yeah, we launched January 30th. And I will add to that, if you don't know what to do, like what's the first step, I was coming fresh out of 4-5 years at school, studied philosophy. I didn't know the first thing about business. I had certain ideas. But if you don't know what to do, a good first step is call someone who does. So luckily for me, I knew people who were had already started their own businesses. And Matt here, he had a lot of legal and accounting background. And surrounding yourself with people who don't know or who know what you don't know is an obvious solution to I don't know what to do.
Yeah, because that's always the hardest thing. When you're like, hey, I want to do something, but where do I start? I want to do a podcast. How do I start one? I want to write a book. Do I just write? Like, it's always easier than you think, but because you've never done it before, it's like seems daunting. You're like, oh, I don't know. So what were some of the key advices you've learned from people who started a business and you took from them? Was it like you need to have a business model? Like, what were some key things you took?
That's a great question. I think we both probably have different answers.
Which is perfect, yeah.
My mentors and friends and peers who have either successfully or unsuccessfully started businesses and such, number one is to stay true to your mission and to your purpose. And if you believe in something, whether you're, I'd say that in a lot of ways, Nick is an artist here because he spent a lot of time tinkering with and developing the recipes and building his conviction that this product was good. I can't, if the business launched in August and we didn't start till January, we weren't sitting around all day for those 4 months. We were trying new recipes, experimenting with this, really trying to get it down to the perfect recipe, which I think we've done. But I think one of the big things was, if you have conviction, stay true to it. There are going to be haters. There's going to be people doubting you and deflecting their own insecurities and issues. And you look at the great successful entrepreneurs of our generation, of past generations, and those people didn't stop in their pursuits just because someone doubted them. So I think the biggest thing was always just keep grinding. There's going to be setbacks, but every step back should result in 2 steps forward. And really like learning from our mistakes. There's going to be another one was there's going to be mistakes along the way. One of my entrepreneurship professors in college, I took a course called Succeeding at Failing. And the theme was you're gonna, it's about all of the great entrepreneurs and the Michael Jordans of the world, the Jay-Z's, and how they failed early and learned from those, those experiences and then took those learnings to become great. Jay-Z was turned down by every record label, 27 years old.
It's crazy.
He had a record
Yeah.
deal. What did he do? He started Rockefeller Records. The rest is history. So I think those are the two big
Wow.
things: staying true to your mission, and not being afraid to make mistakes, as long as you can learn from those. Those are some of the big learnings I've gotten from my mentors and business, friends.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on one second, Matt. Maybe you should try to move yourself to the left more. Like cut off. Perfect.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right. And what about you, Nick? What lessons did you?
I mean, there's so many, and I'm learning lessons every day. I'd say to begin with, like people always say in business, you got to work hard. And it's just so true. Like if you're going to start a business, the business only moves forward because you put in the work. And, especially in the beginning, if it's just you or if it's you and another guy, you need to stay determined and focused. And one of the lessons I learned early on, there was an issue we were dealing with, and it was distracting us from what was the priority. And this keeps coming up. It's a reoccurring theme where you'll be thrown into different tangents. Oh, maybe we do this. Maybe we develop other recipes. Maybe we could build a better site. And you just need to hone in on what's working and what you can expand on. And I think that is one of the key lessons I'm still learning every day is focus on what's important and do that really well.
Awesome. And so how did you guys decide to do the whole thing where you go out and like meet people and share like free samples of your pretzels? Where I met Matt out there, like how did that start? Was that like recently, or is that like right in January? We're releasing these pretzels and we're gonna go out there and give it to people.
Yeah, I don't know. Like the idea was simply like I said, proof of concept, right?
Mhm.
So, right now where we are is we're building out a better website, and we're going to focus a little bit more on D2C. And a lot of companies are doing D2C. It's something you hear a lot. For me, at the beginning, I was always like, let's just get these things in people's hands. And you were there, right?
Yeah, I tried some of the pretzels. Spretzels were so good. I still have some. Like, oh my gosh, you guys killed it.
Thank you. So you saw us like, we're not like an ordinary booth at Melrose Trading Post.
No, not at all.
Yeah, we've got a whole brand outfit, baseball pants and the shirt, the Spretzels branded
How'd you
card.
come up with that?
I don't
You
know.
guys baseball players, or you fit?
Not in 20 years. I think one of the beautiful parts about the Melrose Trading Post and that flea market vibe is it's not just getting the product in people's hands. It's like giving you a free sample and you letting me know what you think of it. It's getting that in person, that analog, that tangible. You can see the action in person. It's very personable, and we try to connect with the different people we meet with, have conversations with them, and really, not just sell them on the product and the vision, but show them why they should follow us on socials and stay in touch and so I think the big thing isn't just selling them and making money at Melrose Trading Post and other events we've done in the past, other flea market type places, but it's really making that human connection. And that's one of the big ethoses of Spretzels, is having a good vibe and spreading positivity. And I think the most optimal way to achieve that is in person, face to face, making that connection and that touch, and getting to see that person's reaction. We film people from time to time who give us their permission, of course, and we call those testimonials. And we've got an archive of them, and they're ready to be used for good promo in the future. But the beauty is being able to look at those and remember. I remember when in KB or when whoever tried it, sampled it. Here's the video. It's special, and I think that's something that we take a lot of pride in, specifically with Melrose Trading Post.
Yeah, because you're showing people that you actually care about them. You're not just trying to sell them something, but you're trying to build like a community and be like, hey, try this out. Like, I know you like it. And if you do, like, we'll showcase you on the socials, and we'll just like build this community. And then more people are like, yo, Spretzels are pretty cool people. Let's go buy more. Not just because it's good, because they're cool people. That sells more, I think, now than anything else in the world. Like with the whole thing with memes and like Elon Musk, like people just like the story and just like to go with that.
and connection.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would add to that, I think there's a lot of noise today, right? So you have a lot of people getting into startups. If you're into crypto, right, there's like a million coins to sift through. And the question is, how do you break through that noise? And, when you look at us out at Melrose Trading Post, we're not selling. Like, we're having a good time. We're out there dancing. We're out there smiling. We're trying to make people's day a little bit better. And obviously, selling pretzels is part of the job, but it comes down to the product itself and giving people something that is absolutely delicious. And for us, it's a good time, and having the outfit and having the dance and having the good time. I think all that brought together is a signal, and it's able to break through that noise and show people, and hey, look at us, and come over here and have a good time.
Yeah, we try to be very inviting. And a funny anecdote was we listen to a lot of music while we're out there. We got all kinds of different genres, very upbeat, fun, dancey music. And this couple came over, and the lady said, I saw you guys dancing from across the market, and I had to come over and see what you were about. Who are you guys? So it wasn't even the Spretzels that hooked her in. It was that we were just grooving and dancing to some Dua Lipa and having a good time. And I think that energy helps attract people. And those are the type of people we want to sell to and to be our customers, and effectively they're kind of like fans. People become not just fans of the product, but of the brand, of the story of Mr. Nick over here, of Mr. and Mrs. Spretzel, for whom there's a full brand story.
Yeah, what's up with that? I want to hear more about that later. I'm reading it. I'm like, what is this? And then the Instagram has it too, Mr. Pretzel and Mrs. Pretzel.
There's a great little story, and on the back of the packaging, the information is written in the as on the cinnamon one as if it was Mrs. Spretzel talking, and on the spicy one as if it was Mr. Spretzel. So we try to show their personality on. Thank you. That was his idea on the packaging and on the website. And again, we're launching our e-commerce platform, our website, very, very soon. So be on the lookout. It's going to be very in-depth, telling that story and showcasing it and illustrating it. So we're really excited about that. Trying to make it not just something that you snack on, but also something that you can buy into. Something that you can follow and want to learn more about.
And when you say like buy into, do you mean like when you plant the trees for every 10 products sold? This whole idea to like help him bring back.
I was saying more so buying into just the brand and the vision on just the product. That is a small pillar of what we do, is that for every 10 bags, just to make some impact in the short run, we hope to do a lot of great work in the long run, especially as we make more money and we're able to put that to good use. But right now we're donating after every 10 bags sold to have a tree planted. And that is just, us trying to give a little bit of what we're earning out of this back and support the environment. So yeah, that's part of our mission.
I love that mission because you're not only just bringing good vibes to everyone, but you're also trying to give back to the earth, which is much needed nowadays. So I love it.
We agree.
So you guys have a team, right? How do you manage accountability within your team?
That's a great question.
Do you guys use Notion?
Do we use Notion?
We live on Notion.
We do too.
Oh, nice. We use a lot of different things. Right now we're trying to build out this team, right? Nick here is Chief Spretzel Officer and very much so driving the ship and slowly bringing different people in with different skill sets, some on a more formal basis, some on a ad hoc basis. So right now, there's definitely like a vibe check for people to sell. Not everyone can sell them. You need somebody who's got good personality and energy and a smile on their face while they do it. And as we build a business and such, there's going to be a lot of opportunity to bring in more permanent members of the team. Hire people full time. Eventually, have a sales division fully built out. So at the moment, we're bringing in different folks, different friends, testing the waters, but slowly strategizing on who do we need next. What is the key party that we're missing? But I'll say right now, Nick is definitely championing a lot of the major operational, creative, day-to-day, all of that such, and it's all through Notion. We live on Notion.
Notion's just a great platform. Makes everything so much easier.
Absolutely.
Now, Nick, how do you handle all the pressure and the work that needs to be done? For anybody who wants to be a CSO, right, Chief Pretzel or Officer, how do you handle all that? What advice would you give for people who want to be in your position, start their own thing?
Well, I'd say like if you're new to this, like I am, you don't handle it at first.
Mm.
Like I said, it's kind of like jumping into the deep end and you don't know how to swim. I mean, I never studied business, and I always listened to some podcasts and read some books, but for me, the past 9 months have been an excruciating like learning lesson and understanding what business is. You guys caught us very early. We're kind of like a ragtag team coming together and adding, a member here, a member there, and just juggling as we move forward. I'd say doing it and just getting out there, and if you have to bang your head against a wall like a million times, do that. And it slowly starts to click. For instance, when I started, business for me was very elusive. Like, what is this business thing? And it just didn't make any sense to me. And luckily, I had Matt. We had another friend, Jordan, who I was able to discuss this with, and it's starting to show itself for what it is. And I think if you talk to me, 2 years from now, even a year from now, I'll have a different answer. And then 5 years from now, but what's beginning to become apparent is that a business is nothing without the people who make it, the employees, shareholders. Because without people working daily on this objective, whatever it may be, for us, it's spreading joy and delicious pretzels and planting some trees. Nothing's going to happen. And as far as managing everything, I mean, it comes down to productivity stuff. You guys have heard it. Like, just be on top of your shit. Manage your time well. Be ferocious with it. Be on Notion. Notion is great. Like, we're currently building out. It's funny you mentioned that, because like the next sort of endeavor, the next mountain to climb is social media. We've been relatively quiet on it, and we have a lot of content that we have to post, content to film. And so we're currently building out a Notion dashboard and framework to take an input, let's say, ideas. Oh, maybe we should film this, maybe we should film that, and then output a ready product. What I love about business, and what I'll add and sort of conclude with, is most options you get out of school, at least the ones that they give us, it's like this Lego set you buy, and you follow the instructions, and you're supposed to make some money and have a good life. You guys have heard of drop shipping. There's so many courses. Build this website, go here, do this.
Voila.
Yeah. And for me, I wanted, like, when you start your own business, there is no blueprint, because every business, especially in every time technology changes, the way you advertise changes. The people who are around you is different from anyone else. Your experience are different. There is no rules or standard operating procedures. It's like your head, and whatever you want to accomplish. And so when it comes down to it, pen to paper or fingers to keyboard, and just get to work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when it comes to accountability, when you're your own boss, you have to set the standard as to, for other people around you, no one should be able to complain unless they're working harder than you. I heard somebody say that once, a CEO, and you have to set the culture. You have to set the standard. And the reality is, a lot of people are in business to make money, right? We both read the book Shoe Dog by Phil Knight, the founder of Nike, and it's probably the greatest entrepreneurship story ever. Like, at least like in a book, at least for me, it's beautiful. And it was a long journey to make Nike what it is. And one thing he says in there is that for a lot of people, business is the all-out pursuit of profits. But for us, cash and profits were no different than what blood is for like a human being. It's like, it's something that's essential. It's necessary to function, but it's not the higher purpose and the higher mission of the business, of the organization. And I think that's sort of rings true with us, is that this isn't just a cash grab or an attempt at making a lot of money or whatever. We're trying to build something that's meaningful here. And the only way to do that is to remind ourselves why we do it. We have to make money in order to pay different fees, in order to buy, ingredients, in order to, work with our co-op. There's so many costs involved, and those are the essential functions in order to survive. And then what we're here to do is a hell of a lot more than that. And just reminding ourselves of that mission, of that purpose, helps keep us accountable. If we take a couple days off and just forget about things might not get paid, orders might not be fulfilled, and we'll get set back. So it's always being on your game. We're both early risers, and we set our schedules out for the day, sometimes for the week. By Monday, we use Notion for to-dos, like religiously, and we try to stick to that. And we're both busy people. Everybody's busy, but it's a matter of, are you working smart? Are you working hard? And how are you using your 24 hours you get every day? And I think those are things Nick and I talk about all the time over dinner. We'll talk about, how are we going to be more productive? What are things we need to focus on? How are we growing?
Right.
Acknowledging the wins. So I think that's a really great question, and it's something that everyone, there's no right answer. It's an always on learning process. How to be accountable to those above you, below you, your peers, etc. And we're just excited to continue to grow in that way. And if you ask us in a year, hopefully there's a big team here, there's shareholders, a machine at work, and that's what we're building toward.
Yeah, I can see so many things happening. I can see a Spretzel's animation, like Mr. and Mrs. Pretzel, and you never know.
Speaking in our language.
Oh, it could in amusement park one day. You never know.
The possibilities are endless.
Exactly. So I'm curious too. You guys read the book Undaunted or heard of like Kara Goldin? I think Matt and I we talked about it a little bit.
Undaunted?
Yeah, it's by Kara Goldin. The girl who does Hintwater, the CEO.
Oh yes, we did talk about that. I know about Hintwater. I have not read the book though.
Oh, so I love the book because she talks basically about what you guys were saying, was like you just kind of wing it, say like I have this idea, let me try it, and then you go and try it and it doesn't really work, so you change it up. But the main thing that she took is like she's gotten a lot of no's, a lot of this is not going to work out. So how did you guys get through moments that maybe somebody was like you can't do this, or you had like dark times? Like how did you stay undaunted and like persevere?
Great question.
What knows?
It goes back to like what is the mission and staying true to that mission. I get rejections, I don't want to say every day, but all the time in different ways, shapes, or forms, which can just be us emailing somebody not getting a response. That's a rejection. There's all kinds of, I view it personally, when someone doesn't want to work with me or doesn't want to partner or whatever, I view it as their loss, and they've missed out on an opportunity, and it keeps me positive. If someone says no, or if we get turned down for something, as long as we put in all the quality work necessary to get that thing, and it just didn't work out, we can't be beating ourselves up. Like I said earlier, succeeding at failing, every mistake or every screw up should lend itself to 5, positive learnings and new outcomes. So I think it's as long as we put in the good work and it didn't work out, it's too bad. And if somebody doesn't want to work with us, or if someone turns us down, or if we get a big no, then whatever that party is, it's frankly, it's too bad for them, because, that keeps me positive. I don't think that I'm a loser and that I lost out. I think they missed out.
Exactly.
They don't fit the vibe.
Whatever it takes to keep yourself positive. I mean, you have to really keep yourself motivated and keep, moving along and not getting held up by small obstacles. You have to figure out ways around those or over those, or find new routes. And I think that having people to bounce ideas off of each other, and we have a great network of friends who are all just hyper ambitious, congenial, and just, thoughtful people, to be there to help us when we experience, hardships or shortcomings, to help us think about how to navigate that. So I think it's having just good people around you to help you through those and keep yourself motivated.
Yeah,
That's great advice.
Yeah, I'd add on to that. if you're entrenched in your ways and you're trying to do some objective and you get a no, I think a good leader is able to say, okay, what are the other options, and sort of steer the ship towards fair weather. I often hear, not often, but sometimes people say, oh, you can't do that, or that's impossible. And my response always, is it impossible or is it extremely difficult? And it's never impossible, right? Yes. So, and in the case where someone's like, oh, I don't like your pretzel, and they try it, that's fine. These aren't for everyone. Not everyone is going to like everything, and you're going to get no's. And the point is just to strive forward and know that what you've created is great. There's people who come to Melrose, and they'll come by and they're like, I don't like pretzels. I think it's like 80% conversion rate from not liking pretzels to loving pretzels, somewhere up there, right?
It's always fun when someone's like, I don't like pretzels, and we're like, we'll change your mind.
Yeah.
And as long as they
No,
give
it's
us
true
that,
though. You guys like it's something totally different. And like I like pretzels, but I don't love them. And then I got yours, and I was like, oh no, I love these.
Oh, we're so
Yeah.
glad.
Thank you. Yeah, if someone says no to a sample, I'm like, are you sure? Like, I'm telling you, these are really good.
Yeah, and they're free.
They're
Just
fun.
try it.
Yeah.
I think also, persistency is really important. If you really believe something should happen a certain way, or someone should work with you, or whatever it might be, you should be persistent and relentless in making that happen until you reach a point where if it's not, they're not budging, they made it very clear, like stay away, like da-da-da. You reach that point, you use your EQ and your IQ, and you step away. But persistency has made so many things happen for great leaders of the past, and just really believing in that objective. And I think some people get annoyed by somebody who consistently tries to make something happen that after getting turned down. I think most people respect it and can respect the hustle and the drive. And so, sometimes you just got to brush it off the shoulder. Sometimes you got to keep fighting it. Sometimes you got to know when to take a step back and reroute. And so I think those are just
That's key.
great questions. And those are just things we're thinking about every day, learning every day as new opportunities arise for this business.
Now, when you say new opportunities, I'm curious. Do you think you'll ever accept Dogecoin as a payment option?
I mean,
Does Shopify have an integration? I'll do it tomorrow.
I mean, if Mark Cuban can take Dogecoin at Dallas Mavericks Arena, like, well,
I'll do it.
Yeah.
no promises, but I'm pro Doge. It's funny actually when we're selling them Members Trading Post, we take credit card, Venmo, PayPal, we take everything. And I've recently people have been like, do you accept this? And my response is, I take all payment methods. If it's we'll make it work. And one woman said, do you take IOUs?
IOUs?
That's not a payment.
She's like, you take that as a payment method? It was funny. I was like, no, that's one we don't take.
Yeah.
But we could probably make some Dogecoin work. I'm a fan.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? If it keeps blowing up, it's double the profits, maybe triple. You never know. So yeah.
I have a question. In terms of the Spretzels, what flavors do you have, or what is it? Because KB, he's tried it and he's told me so much about it. Like he was like pumped the day he tried it. But so I'm over here like, what are they like? Because I've never tried them. So how can you explain that?
Yeah, we have currently 2 flavors: spicy ranch and sweet cinnamon.
Okay.
They're pretty self-explanatory. The spicy ranch, something that bothers me is people say something spicy and then you try and you're like, this isn't spicy. This is
Yeah.
And
What's up with that?
Yeah, I don't know what's up with that. I mean, don't say it's spicy, obviously.
I mean, I know we have different taste buds, but still, like.
Yeah, but our Spretzels are actually spicy and they actually have a kick. And so when people come to us and say, hey, do these have a kick? We're like, yeah, they do. They're spicy and they're ranchy and they're delicious. There's really nothing quite like the spicy ranch flavor. A lot of people say that. They're like, you guys have something unique here. I haven't tasted something like this. So it's hard to describe that. And then the sweet cinnamon, we get a lot of comparisons to various snacks, but it's just a sugary, sweet churro kind of wrapped up into a pretzel. It's delicious. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be happy to ship you some if you'd like.
You know, a lot of people compare the sweet cinnamon Spretzels to churros, and then also to, because it's similar flavor, and then also to, you know, the cinnamon pretzels you can get at the mall. You know, like you know, Wetzel's pretzels or you know, the mall pretzels. But my whole spiel is, you know, it's like that, but you can close the bag at the end of the day. You know, you can have a couple and put it away. You know, when you buy a big churro, you got to eat that churro right then and there.
You really do.
It's resealable. Oh, that's perfect.
And so, you know, we give somebody a free sample. They love it. They buy a couple bags, and you know, after dinner I might have 1 or 2 sweet cinnamon Spretzels. It'll satisfy that you know, those taste buds, that craving. But you know, you peel the bag and put it away, which is you know, I think a big selling point, you know, for packaged goods like this.
Absolutely. That's awesome.
And we'd love to get you some. Are you more of a sweet or are you more of a spicy person?
The sweet cinnamon kind of caught my my attention. What do you recommend?
I mean, definitely both.
So good.
The spicy ranch feels more like your kind of go-to snack, like you're watching TV, you're watching a ball game. You know, they go good at the bar or with some beers. But the dips, you know, we actually recommend dips on the back. That's something we also want to explore down our own dips.
That sounds like my language, yeah. Like
That'd
when
be
you study.
genius. Because then people can buy
a little bit more of a dessert snack. You know, it goes great with ice cream. I mean, I'd love to get in Cold Stone one day and have them put our cinnamon Spretzels.
Oh my gosh, yes.
That idea stays here, though. If anyone hears this, don't steal that idea.
We'll cut it out.
It goes really well with frosting, things like that, or by itself. They're sweet. They're also savory. You know, there's salt on the pretzels. They have, you know, that origin. So it's a really great blend of flavor, and I haven't seen anything like it. You know, I've tried every pretzel out there in the market. I'm a big pretzel fan. Nick's a huge pretzel fan. We've tried them all. Every brand, every flavor, every variation, and we're not satisfied. You know, why
that feeling you're like, I can do it,
put out the
better.
The market needs it, you know. And if they're just doing what everyone else is doing, then they're not making a difference. But we believe that there's room for disruption and for innovation on the flavor side, on the brand side, and we're here. We're here for it.
There's so much more.
How's the spicy ranch with like a hummus or something? Because I like to like have those pretzel chips with the hummus. So I was just like, when you said that, it made me think of that when you said dip. Have you?
Hummus is typically a pretty bold flavor, and so you'll normally have pretty plain pretzels with it. We recommend guacamole, 5 and onion cream cheese, which I've never put on anything other than a bagel, and now I almost only have it with spicy pretzels, and then spinach artichoke dip. Those are sort of the 3 primary dips we recommend, but hummus is great. We tried the other night tabbouleh, you know, which is like
tabbouleh with spicy ranch.
It's like a Mediterranean salad, olive oil with like different herbs and such, and that was probably the best combo yet.
it was unreal.
I bought the tabbouleh because Nick wanted to make it, you know, as part of a breakfast, and you get it at Trader Joe's, and it's delicious, little package.
Right.
And
love to.
We had some company, and we were like, let's put out some Spretzels, let's put out some tabbouleh, let's test the waters, and waters passed the flying colors.
I really their combo.
We should start putting it on the bag, dip it with or we can make our own tabbouleh.
We'll make our own tabbouleh.
We'll just make a big thing of it. We'll give out little samples.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
We got you.
Another fun thing too is that there isn't a day where there isn't an idea and creativity flowing. You know, it's like sometimes juggling like which ideas do we actually need to like run with and which ones
is viable, yeah.
and there's, you know, between the two of us and our friends, there's no shortage. You know, most of our, you know, when we see people, oftentimes it turns into a brainstorm because people get so excited about Spretzels, and then they have ideas, what they would want to see, what they think is cool. Yep. And so what's really funny is we make this kind of collaborative community of ideation and brainstorm. And sometimes it's actually a challenge because we'll be sitting with too many ideas, and we realize, all right, well, let's start with one. You know, let's make one thing happen before we do everything.
It's so hard because there's so many ideas. You guys like keep them like on blackboard?
I mean, this conversation's got me thinking all kinds of things. You know,
yeah.
I'm thinking of like video games,
literally going to the drawing
books,
board right after.
Children's
you gotta
books,
have a notion
like
for
anything.
Ideas.
Flavor. Wow, maybe like Oreo cookies and cream pretzels.
Mm-hmm.
You never know. But actually, let's get into how you make these, because I was looking at the ingredients, and I've never made pretzels before, and it seems so weird and basic. Like, how are pretzels made? Like regular pretzels?
Mm-hmm.
Is there dough? Because I think the ingredients was just like chocolate, and then like I was so confused. So I don't know if you can help like make.
By the way,
me
we're doing a rebrand on the packaging. Some of the we lost you for a second. We've got we're going to be putting the nutrients, the macronutrients, and a lot of the more specific ingredients.
Okay.
Moving forward, so the packaging will be slightly updated, and you'll have a more robust grasp on it. We've tinkered with a lot of different things. We've baked them. We've done soft pretzels. We've made hard pretzels. We've used pretzels, so we get them in bulk from different restaurant type providers and merchants. So we'll often get pretzels in bulk. We're working with a co-packer right now who helps us with them. We don't have too much specifics to say now, but we're going to be working on a from scratch recipe that might involve some new shapes, some new textures, and that should be coming soon. So yeah, right now we work with a couple different sort of like unbranded pretzels, and get those just in bulk supply, wholesale basically, and pretty soon we'll be baking a whole new array of textures and flavors from scratch. So right now again, we're partnering with you, but stay tuned.
It's a lot of exciting stuff coming.
You should try to make like cookies with like the Spretzel cinnamon ones as like the toppings, or like incorporate into it. Maybe like a cookbook. Somebody gets some like chef to come on and be like, hell, maybe we can make a cookbook using your different Spretzels. Who knows?
Good idea.
We one step ahead.
Yeah.
We had Spretzel Schnitzel for
Spretzel
dinner.
Schnitzel.
Schnitzel,
Wow.
so, German fried chicken, and we blended some breadcrumbs with some blended up spicy Spretzels, and it was definitely it might be the cover of the cookbook. It was.
Yeah. And maybe you can make the bun like spicy ranch flavored or cinnamon flavored, depending on what they're eating. I don't know.
Maybe that's the next thing up is the bun industry. Those are pretty boring.
The buns are
They actually are really boring.
I mean, pretzel buns are delicious, but they're also just plain.
Yeah.
Right.
Spicy bread.
Cinnamon roll, pretzel rolls.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the ideas they're nonstop.
I love. See, at first I was like, how much can you do with this pretzel business? But now I'm
You
thinking,
can do a lot.
yeah. And then the fact that you have this whole Miss and Mr. Spretzel, oh, you're off to the races. You can have toys, clothing, show.
What flavors would you guys be interested in? What's on your mind?
Let's see. What do I want? The cookies and cream one seems interesting to me. Like somehow like incorporate crushed Oreos with the pretzels. So when you bake it, it's like this cool cookies and cream one. Maybe honey bake. Maybe like change it up. Maybe like spicy honey or.
Yeah. A spicy honey mustard sounds like something.
That's interesting. I don't know if I like the mustard part, but you never.
Well, I like honey mustard things, but.
Yeah. So we have a lot of different flavors lined up and things we want to do with different shapes. Currently on the docket, and this is a little sneak preview, the next flavor will be honey buffalo.
Oh, wow. I was close.
You hit the nail on the head. Are you sure I didn't tell you on that Sunday? 'Cause I must have said something.
No, you didn't. I swear.
It means that we got good insight into what people want. So I'm glad that honey resonates and spicy resonates.
Spicy honey.
Spicy honey.
Interesting.
We could use spicy honey.
Could.
Make our own honey.
Spicy honey.
You ever had spicy
I mean,
honey?
I don't know if this would be a good idea, but like barbecue type of pretzels. Like I don't know if that would work at all, but like I love barbecue. Who knows? I don't know.
One idea I've been toying with, and I don't know if it's gonna be, if it's gonna happen or if it's high on our priority list, but I love Nashville style hot chicken. It's got that, cayenne rub. It's spicy. I would love to do like a Nashville style hot Spretzel and make it like super hot. The Spicy Ranch are pretty spicy. They have a good kick. Spice lovers approve. Some people want a little bit more. I'd love to have one that's just like
extreme
spicy. Hot.
Yeah.
Like those Takis snacks.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But not that flavor, but like that level of like, kind of that vibe. So that's the, we're thinking those things.
What if you like switch? Cause they
like
usually
a
have
flaming
chocolate.
hot pretzel.
Ooh, yeah. But like, they usually have the chocolate covered pretzels. What if you do like chocolate filled hard pretzels? So like it's
I
different.
think they have those somewhere.
Probably. I haven't eaten all the pretzel places like you guys have.
I'm like salivating thinking about all these flavors right now.
Yeah.
What I will say is the whole point of the flavors is to try and make something you don't yet get, and it's hard to find.
Right.
Yeah, that's true.
Spicy ranch was something I had never tasted something like that, and then developing it and perfecting it, we got to this flavor which is so unique. Like you can't get it anywhere. And so when we try and think of new flavors and where we're going to go with pretzels in the future, it's what can't you get, and let's put that on a pretzel.
Right.
Yeah, there'll be some funky ideas too. We're all about experimenting with the tastes.
I like the combination of something salty and sweet. So I don't know like the flavor profiles that you would use in that, but the combination of salty and sweet always like makes me happy.
Yes, someone said that last Sunday. They're like, "You took my idea." Like I always thought, like I have sweet pretzels, and I always thought there should be salty sweet pretzels. We're like, sorry.
Too bad we got it first. What about the food we had in Morocco, Malika? Is there anything they can use? Don't do chicken and sweet. That just doesn't work. At least for me. Remember that thing? So don't.
Oh yeah.
But like that's the thing though. They have a lot of like desserts where it's like chicken or beef with something sweet, and like I don't know. It doesn't work for me. But like the same thing with the whole spicy ranch. It works. Honey. Now you have a honey buffalo. So I don't know. We can go brainstorm for days and days. But I want to get into that video that you guys made, the 2-minute long video on Venice Beach. That was genius. And then I love the outfit you're wearing, Nick. I was like, what is this? This is giving me like chill vibes. It's like, just come join us. We're changing the world with Spretzels. So yeah, let me hear about that whole thing and the process behind it.
I appreciate that. So basically, I saw that this guy named Isaac, I forget his last name, but this billionaire who started a payment software company, Shift for Shop, bought a SpaceX rocket, and he decided to give away 3 of the seats, and one of the seats was going to be given to an entrepreneur, the inspiration seat. And was it an inspiration sheet? Yeah. And it was a competition. Basically, you had to make a video, post it on Twitter, and they judge you on a bunch of criteria. I saw it as an opportunity to bring pretzels to space. That's what I was hoping to. Yeah, the moon one day. But also, as we developed the video and started getting the props together and thinking about how we were going to pull it off, it became a really good video to showcase who we are, what we're about, in 2 minutes. And so it was kind of last minute. We had about 3 weeks to put it together. Got a video guy, got the props, the clothing you see. I wanted to do recycled goods, and I had seen a friend post about this towel onesie, like a changing towel, on her Instagram. And I thought that would be cool. What if we did those branded? And so I reached out to her and said, hey, what if I, paid you to do 50 of them? And she's like, I'll do 20. And so we got one made, a sample. And it turns out that the embroidery that we did on the front with the giant pretzel cost like $250 or something dollars. Like they charged us half as much as it cost them because they didn't realize how much stitching they need to use. It's like millions.
Dang.
Yeah.
So you were like, nope, can't do that.
Yeah, so we're like, all right, we'll just sell one of these. Because no one's, So, we put that video together, and it was fun. It was a good experience. Taught us about content creation. Do you want to say anything?
Yeah, I mean, this is a fun brand. We like to have fun. Like, we're silly.
What is it?
We do too.
But, that's fun. I'm glad you mentioned the video because just from the very first, frame in it, Nick's like, want to hear a story on prosperity? I'll tell you a story. He closes his book on prosperity. Like I love it. On the book, just like little things like that. And so it's fun to make, and it's funny too. If we're at the beach doing it, and then people are coming up with, what are these? What are these? We want to try them. We want to buy them. And so, the brand speaks for itself because it brings people in. And we're looking to make a lot more content in that kind of realm and beyond very soon. And so you'll be seeing us, hearing us, hopefully subscribing, the whole nine. Right now, that proof of concept phase that Nick was talking about, I think we're graduating from that because we've sold a ton, and we're positioned to be able to produce at a really high scale with our co-packers. And now it's a matter of, all right, now we got to continue to convey that story to more people. And the power of the internet, somebody in another country can see our stuff and be interested. So that's just the beginning, I'd say.
Now, when you say you're coming up with different ideas, videos, like what are you looking for? Like more like promo type stuff, like with different people?
Everything. Everything from promoting new things to promoting events. We want to be involved in events. We maybe being able to sponsor at a music festival and give these things out.
Dude, that'd be genius. And go to
EDC,
start passing them out.
Brands pay a lot of money to give things away for free. And so, there's so many opportunities, between showcasing the story, both like the journey of baking them and we have a lot of content, B-roll content, living room type stuff, early stages, photos, so there's just so much, we're building this library of different sort of, some of which is storytelling, some of which is promotional, some of which is informational, and getting ready to roll that out. There's no limit on, I think, what we can do in that realm. There's no rules really, as long as it's all, appropriate. There almost every day there's another idea. Oh, we should shoot that. Oh, we could film that. This is prime content opportunity, right? I may ask to take a selfie with everyone, and then we got that photo and that memory.
That's genius. You should do that and post every Monday or something and be like screenshot or like selfie Monday. Here's a bunch of people who bought pretzels, something like that. But no, we did a podcast last week with an actress who lives in this area who's interested in collabing with ideas. So I was thinking maybe we can all do something, collab, and get you guys these cool different promos, have different people promoting it, doing different things, and it'd be cool.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows?
I think collabs is going to be a huge part of our content within the next year. Like we've already said, it's very early stage. We're building out the social media and content, but we have a million ideas and we're not holding back. Very ambitious, and I'm for one very excited what we put out there.
Mm-hmm. And what you were mentioning before with Mr. and Mrs. Spretzel, they're going to be very foundational to the content. Don't want to give too much away on that, but we have, imagine a Spretzel Verse, and it's this kind of comic animated universe of all kinds of characters and characters representing flavors and values and different archetypes. We think that there's a lot more going on here than just pretzels.
Yeah.
So, and again, this is the beginning. So we're trying to think about how to focus our time and our efforts, and it's a learning process every day. But I think we're pulling off a lot in the short amount of time we've been doing this, and we're always hungry to be doing more, to be putting out more, to be doing fun things like this and getting to talk about what we're doing. Admittedly, we're both, we want to do this and do the video and all that, but our minds are always racing with what can we be doing for Spretzels, content, ideas, recipes, and there's only so much time in the day, so you have to know when, to be in the zone and when to, try new things, and when to, work on yourself too. We're both active. We like to hike and work out and, just be healthy people. So, we're trying to encourage a really good lifestyle around this.
Yeah.
This isn't work 23 hours a day, don't sleep, suffocate.
It's not sustainable too.
No, I think with quality work and quality frameworks and such and systems, we can build something really great and not break our necks in the process.
So true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then I lost it. Oh no. So okay, yeah. So when you guys are started in August, right, and then you released it in January, what would you tell people who are like, oh, I'm gonna start my business and it should be out like next week, but you guys took like 6 months. It's like, how can you help someone be more patient to be like, hey, the process takes a long time and it's more about the long term than it is about like short term.
Bill Gates famously said, people overestimate what they can do in 1 year and underestimate what they can do in 10 years. And I live by and subscribe to that quote 10x. Patience is key, not rushing things. Sometimes you have to jump in to get started. Sometimes you need to be able to take a seat back and scope out what do the next 5 years look like, next 10 years. And you can't always know. It's impossible to predict the future, but reminding yourself that it's a long game. You know, we're young. You guys are super young. You know, there are entrepreneurs and executives who are in their 40s, 50s, and 60s who feel young and who are launching their businesses and new businesses. And so I view life as a long game, and we don't have to have everything figured out, you know, tomorrow. I would advise, you know, anyone trying to start something, you know, think through your vision and your mission and your why first. You know, why are you doing it? What's the purpose? And then with that in mind, you can really start to sketch out, all right, well, what's it going to cost? What's it going to take? What's the timeline? Who do I need? What kind of help do I need? Where am I coming up short? And it's better to get started. You know, half the battle is just getting started. It's just showing up to the game. So yeah, I think that quote really sticks with me. And I implore anyone in that position to think about that quote and to really like realize that, you know, life, you know, if you're blessed, like life is a long process, and not everything has to be figured out instantaneously, and patience is virtue.
Yeah.
Damn.
This guy's good.
He killed it, yeah. There's nothing else to say.
Sorry, Nick.
Oh, how do I follow up that? Well, I'll add just a little bit. Things take longer than you think, right? And so we were ready to start selling. I forget the exact date. It was sometime in November we got our license. And so technically we could have started selling in November, but and you talk to the packaging guy, and the packaging guy is like, oh, there's a 10-day lead time. You get the packages, and something else happens. You need to get the ingredients. Currently, you know, we're changing our packaging, and there's an 11-week lead time. And so there's a lot of unexpected things that come up, and you just have to be patient because you don't have the option not to be. I'd also say, you know, don't look at anyone's story like that's the end-all be-all only solution to getting shit done. Because I could have easily, you know, with Spretzels sold out of a small bag in November. We didn't have to launch in January. We could have launched earlier. But I thought providing people with a product, it's not just the pretzels, but the experience, because that's what Spretzels is about, is selling, you know, Mr. Spretzel and Mrs. Spretzel and the outfits. That was just as important as the product itself. So putting it into a paper bag or you know, packaging you get on Amazon and smacking a sticker on it wasn't enough for me. But for other people, it can be. If your product doesn't necessitate that you need a crazy brand experience, and you just need to make $1,000 by the end of next month, then do it a different way. Just know that patience, like there's a reason it's a virtue. It's important, and you're going to need to have some.
Enough said. Yeah, it's beautiful. I'm gonna take that advice forever. No matter what we're doing, creatively, business, life, relationships, take your time. You have a long enough life. Just don't. This one thing? It's like you have a long enough life to like take your time, but you also it's like short. So like at least start something. Get on your feet wet, like you were saying. Like just do it, because then you'll learn as you go. Like the business part, you're like, I don't know what to do. Let me get started. Let me ask people. Then you start getting questions. When you just sit there and say, I don't know what to do, I'm not gonna figure it out, you won't get anywhere. So yeah, beautiful advice, guys. And actually, so we're. Oh yeah.
I'm gonna leave one last quote too, because Nick lent me the book on Richard Branson, and it's an awesome story. It's an awesome tale about entrepreneurship and taking risk. And there's just one quote, and I think it really resonates for both of us. And it's that the brave may not live forever, but the cautious never live at all. And yeah, and if you know anything
So
about
good.
this guy's jumping out of hot air balloons when he's like 65 years old. Like he's a wild man, and you know he's taking people to space, and he's got music. You know he's a all around virtuoso. But I read that and I got chills. I get chills thinking about it because I want to live a life of purpose and do great things. And it's not all about how many zeros there are at the end of the number or anything like that. But if you could put a smile on someone's face, and if you can, you know, make an impact, and brighten up the world just a little bit, that to me is so much more cool, or so much cooler than, you know, closing some huge deal or some bullshit like that. So I'll leave y'all with that one. And if you ever want more quotes, I have lists on lists and lists of them. They keep me going, honestly.
I used to have my walls filled with quotes.
I'm a quote person too. I love quotes.
What are some of your favorites?
One of mine is "Action is the antidote to despair" by Joan Baez. It's so many. You have to want it to succeed. You have to want it as bad as you want to breathe by Eric Thomas. So many. Go ahead, KB. I'll do.
Now I'm put in the spot, but like I like the one "Do your best and forget the rest." It's from Tony Horton. It's just like do what you can, do your best, and just forget what anybody else thinks about. Just go do it. And then a ton of other ones that I'm not gonna remember. But I like the other one too, where it's just like start. No, my favorite one, I think, shaped who I am, is the one where it's like I took the path less traveled, and that has made all the difference. That by far is like how I've, you know, guided my life. My North Star is just do what others don't normally do. Do the opposite of others. Another thing I heard on a YouTube video once, this guy was really smart, really old, was like, you're not even, so it doesn't matter, but just do the opposite of what everyone else is doing around you. And like I took that literally. Like I was just like, so everybody's going to college, I'm not going to go to school. Everybody's like staying quiet, not really meeting people. I'm gonna go meet a ton of people. People like I literally, this was like 7, 8, 9 years ago, and I was like, I'm just gonna do it all. Do what all the rich people are saying. Do it all and see what happens. And so far, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this has been an amazing episode, guys. I learned a lot. I can't wait for more people to check out Spretzels, to eat your Spretzels, to hear about the new stuff coming out with Mr. Pretzels. So just keep it up, guys. Like this is amazing, and I'm always gonna be supporting you guys, and can't wait to see what happens.
Thank you. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, it's been a blast. And shameless plug, at spretzels.everyday is our Instagram.
I was just about to ask.
We won't find too much there, but we will find, we'll get the ball rolling.
We're sure that'll change.
From there, you can find our other, other outlets and such. But yeah, this has been so much fun. We appreciate what you guys are doing. Love anybody who's trying to help tell stories and help bring different unique perspectives and backgrounds to an audience. And we're fans of what you guys have been doing, so we're honored to be able to partake, and glad that we can make this happen, and look forward to staying in touch with you guys and sending you some Spretzels.
Awesome. Can't wait. Can't wait to collab and all that good stuff. But first, before you go, you have to think about this, like we're flying through space on a just giant sofa, and you see like a giant billboard that the whole universe can see. What would be the one thing you would put on there? And you both can have your own answer, or it could be like the Spretzel answer, but what would be your one thing you want the whole world, like your own motto? What would it be?
Good question.
I know mine, you know yours.
I mean, I'm stealing mine. The first thing that came up, because I'm reading Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy right now, and
great book.
Yeah, on the front of the book is the "Don't Panic." That's the first thing that came to my head. But
I mean, that's a good one, yeah.
Nothing better. What do you?
I mean, mine would probably say like, "Go hug your grandparents," or you know, like.
So wholesome, and that's killer.
Why are you doing this?
Just you know, there's nothing else matters at the end of the day. You go bankrupt and you lose all your money. Not of course, but I don't know. I'm a very family-centric person, so I think a lot of people forget. You know, like they make their goal and be more oriented around family. I'm gonna spend more time with my family, but like, just do it. Like, just go call them, FaceTime them. You know, your cousins, your whoever you have. If you have anyone, if you don't have anyone, make a family. You know, build a family out of your friends, out of your close ones. So that's probably what I'd say. Not to get like daffy, but I'm a sucker for some some family vibes.
I like that.
Yeah, I love it. Sorry.
I'd say go get vaccinated and then go hug your grandma.
My grandma says she's not taking the vaccine. I talked to her today. She's like, I'm strong. She's like, I'm gonna stay home. I'm like, okay, girl, do what you feel. You live this long. She's like 88, so she's like, yeah. She's like, okay, if I go, I go. So I'm like, all right, Graham.
We want to say thank you again, but also want to hand the mic to you guys doing last minute quotes, shout outs, whatever you want to do to leave the fans with. So the mic's all yours, guys.
I feel like I've said so many quotes. I got more.
This guy's not only a quote wizard, but he's a conjunction wizard. I'm surprised you haven't.
I've been behaving on my quotes or my conjunctions. Yeah, I like to put words together. I like to make words up. It's a lot of fun.
Like the coin words.
Let me hear one.
Well, actually, you know what? Let me leave another quote. I mean, again, like I'll send you my list if you want. It's on my phone. But Warren Buffett, chains of habit are too light to be felt until they're too heavy to be broken. And like that's something I'd probably get tattooed on my leg or something. Like that's like something I live by because it's very easy to fall into bad habits. And then to not realize you're in them, bad relationships, and then sometimes it's too tough to get out of them. And you feel trapped. And so Warren Buffett, he's an inspiration. He also one time said that, somebody planted a tree, 100 years ago so that you could have shade today. Or something like that.
No, that's a good one, yeah.
Or you plant you can plant a seed today and now give somebody point is like, people do things and it helps other people in the future. And when you set up future success and future generations to benefit from your gifts or from whatever, that's a beautiful thing.
Welcome back to Earth. I hope you've enjoyed your journey.